Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here. Welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here and I am glad to be here. You know, what am I grateful for today? First, let's go big. I'm grateful for clarity because when we're clear on what truly matters, first of all, we have energy. And then we stop making random choices and we start making powerful choices. And over the last few weeks, we've focused in on desires dictate priorities. And what did we do? And if you weren't with us, then do it now. You can follow through. I'm going to give you a formula throughout this meaningful Monday. Okay. So desires dictate priorities. So we wrote down, took 10-minute timer, time, go. Writing down what we really, really want. And we said to do it several times. And I think that reveals something. Secondly, then we said priorities structure choices. So desires dictate priorities, priorities structure choices. So we went through and had you break it into four quadrants. In other words, listing everything that you had to, four quadrants. What are those things that you value most, like your family, your health, your faith, and put a little mark on those so you know which ones those related to that square. And then we talked about those things that related to your experience or your competency. And we put that there. And then we talked about those things that were arrows out, your contributions that you're making, your compassion. And you identified those and put little marks by them. And then we talked about those things that are pretty much financial, the connections that we make, and we put a mark by those, probably the dollar sign. Okay. So you broke them into four different categories. Then I challenged you over this last week to go through and find one in each square. Find one in each square. What we're looking for is the driver, not necessarily what's most important, but what is the driver that's going to drive the others? In other words, if I achieve this and I say focused in on this, then other things are going to be brought along with it. Okay. It's just by mattering of focusing in on the right thing, which then moves us to the third thing. So we first talk about desires dictate priorities, priorities structure choices, and now it's time to talk about choices. Understanding the difference between important and essential. So, much like what we've just done, Warren Buffett once told his pilot, Mike Flint, he said, make a list of your top 25 career goals. Now, he was just focusing in on career goals. We're focusing on those things that matter most, not just career. But after reviewing it, Buffett told him to circle only five, the ones most essential to his success. Flint then said, hey, well, what about the other 20? These are still important, right? Buffett, no. Those are the ones you avoid at all costs. They're the distractions keeping you from what truly matters. So think about it. When we get focused in on something, and if we say focused on the thing, when you're focusing on that, it's just going to bring the other good things along. Otherwise, they're distractions. It's like you wake up in the morning and you go, well, of all these things, what am I going to do today? But instead of that, say, what are all the things I can do today that's going to let me accomplish any one of these four things, the four keys that we've talked about? So you should be asking yourself every morning, instead of wondering which desire to chase, you simply ask, what small step can I take today that moves me closer to achieving these four things? Because you have the confidence of knowing that by getting those in place, you're going to be able to move those things along. You see, when we're clear on what's essential, we stop making choices out of habit or obligation. We make them with intention. So, looking at this, think about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs had Apple was doing 300 things. What did he do? He came in and yes, he eliminated some things that were not that they were very important, but they weren't essential. And by narrowing it down, they were able to focus on those things. And look what it brought along with it. So your challenge, our challenge this week is every morning before our distractions take over, ask yourself, what small step can I take today that moves me closer to achieving my essential, my four keys? Then act on it. William George Jordan said it this way: every man has a defining point in his character where success or failure begins. It is the moment he makes a firm choice and he never looks back. Clarity creates energy. Clarity creates courage. Courage fuels action, and action builds confidence. Are you fully committed? Ask yourself, are you fully committed? The small steps you take today make all the difference. All right. I hope this has been helpful to you. Let's have a meaningful week. I'm giving you my best lesson of what I give myself to learn, and I'm sticking with my 4 keys. How about you? Let's have a meaningful week. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye bye.